You know what time it is. Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop. From Mr. Cooper. From Mr. Cooper. From Mr. Cooper. Hang with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. With Mr. Cooper. Get the latest scoop. From Mr. Cooper. From Mr. Cooper. Yeah.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Season 8 still going strong, people. If you haven't, make sure you go to the website, thebigscoopwithcoop.com, to catch episodes from Season 1 all the way to Season 8. Big shout outs to everybody that's watching on Facebook, facebook.com/The Big Scoop with Coop. Also, what's going on IG? That's right, you catch me on Instagram, IGTV, baby, at Scoop with Coop. Also, everyone that's watching right now, make sure you check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/The Big Scoop with Coop. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Now, today's guest is a very, very talented and gifted author. She has written so many books that you can catch online. You can catch in your bookstores. You can catch all over. I have guest Kristina Roberts, aka Zane. Zane has written a lot of books, like I said. She's also a casting director, producer, movie producer, director. She does it all, from the movie scene all the way to books. But some of her books that she have written is called The Heat Seekers, Afterburn, The Hot Box, Sex Chronicles, and many more. Make sure you do go check those books out, and make sure you do check out her movies that she's actually gotten done also. Now, after this, guys, you've seen the pictures. I'm going to show you a few pictures of the books. After that, let's catch up with Zane, and let's see what she's up to. Ladies and gentlemen, Zane. Welcome back to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. Like I told you earlier, we actually have a very, very, very special guest today. She has done so much in the book world. She has written books. If you've been in a bookstore, you've seen a book. Nice exotic books. And trust me, she is not a rookie to this game. She has done a lot, and she is a veteran at this. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Kristina Roberts, aka Zane. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. Now, like I said, Kristina, you've done a lot of things in your career. You're nowhere close to the end of your career. It's very impressive on your book sales of what you have done. A lot of people has flocked to your books, and a lot of people has really enjoyed your books and your writings. Your skills is at 150,000%. Continue to do what you do, Kristina.
Thank
Seriously.
you.
Yes. Now, Kristina, everybody, like I said, they sing your books, but we want to hear from the beginning. Now, when did you first realize that you wanted to become an author?
Wow. Well, it's funny. As a child, everybody said I was going to be a famous writer. I never believed that. When I became Zane was in November of 1997. So we're coming up on a 23-year anniversary.
Wow.
And what really happened is that I became bored one night, and I started writing these short stories. Now, my first book didn't come out till May of 2000, but for 3 years, through 2.5 years, I gave away my work for free over the internet. And so when a lot of people ask how I became popular, for me in the beginning, it wasn't about being a published author, about selling a lot of books, and I just thought it was fun. So when I finally put a book out, it just became very successful.
Wow. Now, Kristina, a lot of people feel that they can just pick up a pencil, a piece of paper, or in a new age now, just start typing, and they think a book can get done within a week, within a couple of weeks. And there's a lot of more towards that process. But a lot of people feel like it's very easy. But what type of hurdles did you go through, to get your books out there to where they are today?
Well, writing the book is just part of it. Getting it out there into the hands of people is something totally different. And I always say there's a difference between being a writer and being an author. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like, writers, most of the times, are introverts. Like I'm an introvert, but I'm also can be an extrovert. It depends. But the majority of the time, I'm an introvert. If I had a preference, I would be alone
Oh, wow.
most of the time. But to be an author, an author is a personality. You have to be able to get out there and express yourself in a way that people find you interesting enough to want to purchase your books. And for me, it's like very natural. And I think a lot of it is strange with me because I never set out to be a published author. So that pressure wasn't on me. I was just doing me and hanging out in chat rooms and sharing work with people and all that stuff. So I didn't have that undue, all that unnecessary pressure on myself. And I do feel like a lot of writers do put a lot of pressure on themselves. Like I also do consultant work. And that's one thing I tell people, eventually you have to cut the cord. I understand, but I have 2 clients right now. Oh, I'm just going over the book one more time. I just want to read it one more time. And you can keep reading and reading and reading it, but at some point you have to let it go. And I think a lot of people put too much pressure on what they consider their level of success. To me, a successful writer is one who can um, get readers, but not be so much worried about exactly how many books they're going to sell. They really enjoy the process. And for me, like I've even written books, people don't know this, and I'm not even gonna say what the names are, but I've written books under other names, even
Wow.
though I was already successful. I just wanted to write these particular books. And I kind of, they haven't done as well as the Zane books, of course, but the feedback is really good on them. The sales are not that great, but I still won't come out. Like even my daughter, she's like, why don't you just tell everybody that's you? And I'm like, no, because I wrote it not wanting people to know it was me. And I still, and one of the books that I actually think is my best book is under another fake name. But I'm just going to see if eventually, it takes off or whatever. I really think it's my best book. And it's strange that it hasn't, done as successful as I thought it would. But then again, I really didn't have any expectations. I just put it out.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this, Zane. Under this mystery name that you have, if this book actually hits, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as a New York bestseller, like how yours have done under Zane, will you ever come out and identify yourself?
No,
You won't.
no,
Wow. Wow. Now,
no.
ladies and gentlemen that's watching worldwide right now, as you see, Zane can write books under different names and still had this mental process going on. And you never know, this book may be sitting in your house right now. And it's written by the book that's beside the person that you know already of Zane. You never know. I mean, keep collecting those books. I'm telling you, you never know what's going to happen. Now, did you have any mentors to help you out? I know you said that you grew up ready to write, but did you have anybody to help you out in your beginning stages?
Yes, well, I have a few mentors. I have my overall mentor. Her name is Gloria Herndon. She used to be a U.S. ambassador to an African country. She is the one I guess advice about life issues and everything like that. Suzanne DePaz, who actually I talked to last night, was my mentor in film and television. And of course, she used to be the head of Motown and discovered the Jackson Five and was the first African American woman nominated for an Academy Award for screenwriting for Lady Sings the Blues. And she won 17 Emmys for Lonesome Dove and created Sister Sister and all, the show Sister Sister with the Maori twins
Yes.
and all of that stuff. So she's my television and film mentor. And then Judith Kerr, who's originally from Australia, is my publishing mentor. So I
Wow.
have the mentors, yeah.
Big shout outs to all of them. Those names I do know. And big shout outs to everyone that's helped you out to where you are today. A lot of people, like I said, they think it's a one-man show or one-woman show, but
Right.
everybody don't get all big-headed. If you need help and you know someone that's out there, reach out to them. You never know. They can get you from here to here. Look at Zane. I mean, not just books, television, movies. If I'm not mistaken, you're also a casting director and producer also, aren't you?
Casting director, producer, director, all of it. Yeah, I've actually shot 2 movies this year that I executive produced and directed, which will be coming out soon. One is called I Wish I Never Met You, and the other one is called The Mark.
Nice, nice. Would this be here in theaters, or could we stream it, or how would that? What's your plans for it?
More than likely, streaming some kind of way. I don't know. Movie theaters coming back. I really don't. Do you think they're coming back?
Well, right now, I don't believe this year or probably to mid 2021. I don't believe it's gonna be kind of a funny scenario that I truly believe because
Mm-hmm.
I still think you got to do your spacing even in 2021 social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to impact the theaters
Right.
because 50% of your people won't be able to come into the movie.
Right.
And live this streaming VOD and everything is blowing up right now. I mean, bigger than
Yeah,
whatever
and
I was
I've
doing.
been telling a lot of people lately, the beautiful part about that is it used to be when somebody was trying to do something independently,
Mhm.
they would have to worry. The first thing an investor would want to know is, do you have distribution for it yet? First thing a movie star want to know, do you have distribution for it yet? The beautiful part about today is not only are movie theaters really almost a way of the past now, um, you can always, there's zero chance that something can't be distributed now
True.
because you could also ultimately just distribute it yourself. And so we live in a very beautiful time because of that. It's helped a lot of, like, self-publishing books has become bigger. Now it's so easy. You can push a button and self-publish a book. Where
Mhm.
when I started, you really had to go through the printing process, and all of that kind of stuff and pay for printing. The same thing with digital media now, TV shows, films, that kind of thing. People, there's the zero chance that it won't come out. Because I remember even 5 years ago, I knew a lot of people that were making independent movies and getting stressed out because they couldn't get distribution for them and all that stuff. All of that has changed.
Wow. Now I'm gonna have to get off topic for a second since you did bring it up. Because yeah, myself, I've been into movies also. And there were indie movies, and this was probably a few years ago. Now, what advice would you give a person right now that's a film director, movie director, that's trying to get their movie out to the masses? What would you tell someone right now?
But it
While we
actually,
go for that?
if you give yourself a time limit for how long you're going to try to get a distribution deal for it. And if that time expires, put it out yourself. That
Wow.
would be my advice.
Wow. Yes, because a lot of people now, if you get in the right contacts with Netflix, Amazon,
Yeah,
YouTube.
well, Amazon, you can put it up yourself. Amazon Prime Video Direct, you can put it up yourself. And as African Americans in particular, we know that all of our stuff sells by word of mouth. So if you put it up and it's good and it goes viral and people are talking about it, that's all that matters.
That's what I'm talking about. All you filmmakers out there that's watching right now worldwide. I mean, if you're trying to get your movie out there, you better listen to what Zane is saying. Take down some notes, write these rubies and these jewels down, because if you're trying to get it out there, you
Mhm.
have more ways of doing it now than
Yeah,
ever.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's no reason why it can't be distributed somewhere at this point.
Wow.
Literally, Amazon, you just have to make sure it's closed captioned and had 3 different pieces of artwork and different aspect ratios, and that's it. And honestly, if you're using Adobe Premiere to edit, that actually does the closed captioning for you. A lot of people don't know that. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, I got to get my thing closed captioned." And I'm like, "Well, I think Final Cut Pro does it as well. I know for a fact Adobe Premiere does." But it'll close caption it, and you just go through it. And if there's a word wrong here or there, you just correct it. But you don't have to pay someone else to close caption it. The editing software will do that. And that's another thing. Technology is amazing right now.
Mhm. That is so true. That is so true. Filmmakers, get it out there, because a lot of people did not know that.
Mm.
Myself, did not know about both of them. Far as goes for the closed captioning. And once upon a time, you had to know somebody inside these companies to get a
Mhm.
meeting to even try to get your stuff published up there. Times have changed. Take advantage right now while you can. Definitely do that. Now, Zane, how excited were you when you first saw the deal with Simon Schuster?
Um, Excited. I would say for me, I had been offered a lot of deals by a lot of people. The one from Simon and Schuster made the most sense to me at the time because I was struggling trying to continue to self-publish, not financially. I was making a lot of money. It was trying to ship all the books, print all the books, all that kind of stuff. It was more of like I did it as a relief mechanism because I dropped a hand truck full of books on my foot one time on the way to UPS. Had to go to the ER because I was doing it all myself. I don't know if you knew this, but I was living a double life.
No.
So nobody knew that I was Zane for 5 years. So I didn't have anybody to help me do any of this because I didn't want anybody to know I was Zane. So I literally was doing everything by myself. So for me, it was almost like a sense of relief. But the reason that I am happy that I signed with Simon and Schuster, the reason I did sign with them instead of anybody else, is because I had the feeling that they would leave me alone, and they have. They still do. I turn in a book. Nobody tells me what to write or anything like that. A lot of other publishers were like, "Oh, I'll give you a deal today. You're one of the best writers I've ever read, but we need to tame you down. You're too risque. We want you to write a typical Black romance type of book. We want you to write a Terry McMillan type of novel. All of those things like that." And I'm like, you guys came looking for me. I didn't come looking for you. So to me, I was only going to do it the way that I wanted to do it. And I'm still like that. I
Wow.
mean, my creative process is my creative process. And the second I try to mold it to appease someone else, then it becomes a job.
Hmm. That is so true. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now you know what, Zane? That's crazy that you said that because that's how it is in the movie and television industry. Also, with
Mm-hmm.
this industry, with the book industry, a lot of people want you to be a carbon copy of
Mm-hmm.
someone else. And
Right.
everybody has their own mindset. Everybody has their own style or their own flow. And I just wish people in Hollywood, all the way down to even to the book industry, let that author, let that filmmaker use their own creative juices because you never know. There's some masses out there that's looking for something different, not the same typical hood movie, not the same typical hood book. If you want to do that, you might as well publish one book and just let one book be out there or just one movie be out there. Let it go. You are very talented at what you do, Zay.
And sometimes I get like somebody just trying to get my feelings or whatever, will make a comment like, you know this person or you know that person. And it's funny to me because the people that they're naming, I actually know. But what I also know and what those people know is I'm not trying to be them.
Mm.
I'm not, there's nobody. That's the first thing I told my literary agent when she first picked me up. I said, there's nobody out here that I covet because nobody's done what I plan to do. So there was no, and I was serious about that. And here it is, I've, written a bunch of books, been very successful. I've published over 120 other authors, including some New York Times bestselling books, and I just recently decided to kind of step away from the whole publishing thing, not my books, but other people's books, and focus on television and film. So the people that people are trying to act like I should be jealous of, they just took a different path than me. I mean, but it's not like but they're not doing anything that I want to do. I'm doing what I want to do.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
do the things when I want to do them. So like just even with all this going on, I shot 2 independent movies this year. I had started out planning to shoot 4, but I shot 2. And so, because that's something I wanted to do. And even now, I have a lot of networks and studios approaching me. And I told them, hit me up in 2021. I'm still going to finish these other 2 independent movies first. And some people will say, oh, she must have done independent movies because she had to. No, that's not the case at all. No, and I took a hiatus, and that's nothing I want to say for people that listen. Don't let other people like get you down,
Hmm.
because I've had people make comments like, oh, stuff like, oh yeah, it's time for you to make a comeback, or you need to get back out there, this stuff like that. And here's the thing, come back from what? Everything I've done has been number one. I mean, they act like I failed at something and now I have to try to crawl my way back up to the top. No, I'm doing exactly what I want to do the way I want to do it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. So I'm not trying to be anybody else in this industry. I'm trying to be me. And I love it. I live a very peaceful life because of that. I do, like, I just turned down. I was getting ready to be an EP on a project. It's filming in about a month, and a director, and I backed out of it yesterday. Energy vibes were not good for me. And so the good part is I don't have to do that because, like I was telling somebody early on the phone, I backed out of it. But that time and energy I was going to spend working on somebody else's project, it doesn't mean I can't. If I want to do my own in a month, I can do that.
Wow.
So I just want people to realize, don't let people will try to get to you,
Mhm.
particularly if you become successful, and just don't pay them any mind because I don't.
Wow. Wow. Now, Zane, a lot of people out there, they are trying in the television and movie industry I'm speaking of right now. A
Mhm.
lot of people are trying to find talent agents and trying to get their foot out there.
Mhm.
And the problem is that I believe that a lot of people are, if they get that first talent agent, I'm scared that some of these people will try to turn into yes men and yes women. They will get molded into a certain type of way, and they just so excited to get into this industry. Now, with you, as you see, you're holding your own independence in your own hand. How you
Mhm.
actually want to, if you want to say yay or nay, as far as it goes for a show, for a
Right.
movie or anything. Now,
Right.
do you think it's hard for people right now to say yes or no when they first get into this industry?
It depends on the person and what they're willing to give up in order to be in it. But I can tell you something else. There's a flip side to that because my daughter actually manages artists, actors, and singers and stuff. And I was having this conversation with her today about certain ones she needs to get rid of because some of them, they just want the big stuff. They don't understand that some of the stuff might be small. Like she'll get them stuff, oh, I don't want to do that. But see, they don't want to realize that by doing that, it can lead to something bigger because somebody may see you on that set or you might meet somebody who can make you bigger. But if you're not willing to just work, no matter, work, then you don't need to be in this industry. I'm being honest with you.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody stop thinking you gonna go to the top off of day one. Everybody wants the major stuff, but it's stepping stones. And
Right.
like Zane said, you never know who you will meet on the way up. That's how a lot of people actually got
Like
up
this
in this
is a
industry.
perfect example. One of the guys that was in the film movie I filmed in January, I Wish I Never Met You. I met him because he volunteered at my auditions to like walk people in the room,
Wow.
and sign them in and all that kind of stuff. And he had originally sent in a thing to audition, and I didn't pick him for an audition. But as we all had the auditions, and I asked him to read with a couple of people. Then I was like, interesting. And he ended up getting a role in my first movie. He ended up getting a smaller role in my second movie that I filmed in July. But while he was on set there, I asked him to actually star in my next movie. So
Whoo!
I've already given him that role. He says that I originally met him because he was literally getting people to sign the sign-in sheet, giving them their sides, walking them in the room. That's how I originally met him. And
Wow.
now he's a star in my next film.
He became
So you never know.
from an usher to a main lead.
You know what I
Just
mean?
like that.
And it's so interesting because when I put him in the January movie, the people that have seen the scenes and stuff from that movie, every single person I've sent him to has said, "Oh, that guy can really act. That one that played that, he can." And again, I happen to give him that role because
Nice.
the person that originally got cast for that role, he had a big head, and so I gave it to him. And then he's played a smaller role in my second movie, but now I'm making him the lead in my next movie. And
Wow.
then on top of that, some of the people that volunteered on my crew for my January movie, they became paid crew for my July movie. And some of the people that volunteered on my July movie are going to be paid crew on my next movie. In other words, that was their audition. You see what I'm saying? I saw how hard they worked. So, I gave them like a stipend. But now for my next movie, I've already decided I'm going to move those people into paid crew positions.
Whoo!
So people, you just never know.
That is so true. And a lot of people say, God will open up doors You don't even know when it's coming. And Zane, look what you're doing. You're opening up doors for people to try to get in this industry. Some of these people probably didn't even think they will be where they are now. And look what you're doing for them, Zane. So,
and I have to backtrack for a minute. One of the female leads in my next movie, same thing in a way, was she auditioned for my first movie. I gave her a role. The second movie, she only worked like 2 days out of 24. It was a smaller role.
okay.
Third movie, she's going to be one of the leads. She's actually going to play the mother of the guy that I was just talking about.
Wow. Big shout outs to all of them. You guys, y'all are doing big. I know you're watching this interview. If you, man,
Yeah,
you guys are
they
doing
could have said, "Oh, that role's too small for me. It's only a day. It's only 2 days." You know, they could have said all of that, but they showed up and showed what they could do, and now they're starring in my next movie.
Now, Zane, I want to throw this out here, and I want to say this to your cast and crew, and I want to say this also to the people that are watching this right now. Do not ever, 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 ever make that mistake saying this role is too small, it's only a day or two. Don't ever do it, because your face is getting seen. If you have a speaking role, your voice is getting heard, plus this or more is getting seen. You don't know who's going to see you off of this.
Right.
Do not turn it down. Go for it.
And another young man that plays the driver in my second movie, I would, feel sorry for him sometimes, but he had to sit there all day. He was playing the driver of the main character. And I would say, I'm sorry, we get to your scene. He's like, he said, don't worry about it. He said, I appreciate the screen time.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about.
He said, anytime I can get on screen, it's worth it to me to sit here and just wait.
Zane, if they haven't told you, I'm going to say it for them. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you are doing for people. I'm being 100% serious, because a lot of people would love to have that chance, but if you get too big-headed, I believe the directors, the filmmakers, they will see it, and they sometimes they'll put you in your place.
I can say for sure they will.
Yes, they'll put them in their place. So Zane, thank you for what you have done for everybody that's given these people a chance to come into this industry, because you never know what their next step will be after this movie. You never know.
Because on the flip side, there are some that I will never work with again. So it's very important how you conduct yourself on a set.
That's so true.
Everybody's tired. I had some people complaining, but I can tell you one thing, as the executive producer and the director, I was there before anybody every day. And I was there until everybody left. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm not complaining,
you should.
And most of them to get the hair, makeup, wardrobe done. Okay, yeah, you may have to sit for a minute, but you got food to eat, you got stuff to drink. While I'm on the set busting my behind, directing scenes to get to the scene that you're supposed to be in. I'm working harder. The DP and I working harder, and sound. We're the three that's working like consistently all day. Wow. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else had breaks, and they were able to sit around and stuff like that. So we got to them, but we were working all day.
Wow. Now, Zane, I'm gonna let you know that's not a secret right there. You are a hard worker, and people in the industry does know this. Yes, and I mean, yes, and you have patience from writing to directing. That takes patience. Up here and in here in the heart, you have to have a mental and emotional patience level with people.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And then, you always have those people that bring drama. It could be makeup, or it could be some cast member. Everybody's not cut out for production.
That's true. That's very true.
I can just, everybody's not cut out to be on a set. Wow. They don't realize how much work is involved, or, get upset and stuff. It's not for everybody. That's for sure.
And on a personal level, I've seen people on set when I was in a few movies I was in, and they was getting frustrated, and their endurance was.
That can include a director or somebody too if they don't have the patience for it. Some people, directors, they start yelling at people and losing it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's definitely something different. It's a lot of work.
That's so true. So all my actors out there that's watching right now, I want to say this right now. If you have to, you better do you a little woo-saw moment before you get on that set, because
Yeah.
you do not know that
Mhm.
if you're working with Zane, I want to say this right now, Zane may be looking this way, but she watch you in the peripheral. So
Right, and that's what a lot of people have learned this year in particular, that I see what's going on, whether you think I see it or not, or whether you don't
mhm,
think I know. Because what happens, I'm the head of the ship. So even if I don't see it, somebody's gonna run to me and tell me.
that's what I'm saying. So everybody, big shout outs whoever made it in Zane's movie and you work with Zane, and she wants you to come back. You done something good.
And
Not
that's saying
changing.
a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. Now, Zane, I want to talk about one of your books that you have out,
Mm-hmm.
Sex Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you self-published that book. Am I correct?
Yes, I self-published The Sex Chronicles, Shattering the Myth, Addicted, and Shame on It All.
Now, with that process, was that a aggravating process, or was that a smooth flow for you from writing to self-publishing to getting it out there to the masses? How
Well, this
was
is
it
what
for
I
you?
would suggest. I would suggest, and most people don't do this, preparation. Um, Take your time to learn what you're getting yourself into. Like, I really learned what was involved in self-publishing and distributing the books and doing all of that kind of stuff. I didn't just jump out and just say, okay, I'm putting the book out. And I think that's what where a lot of people fail, not just in the book industry, but in business, period, any kind of business. You have to do your due diligence. You need to have a plan of action. You need to understand what works. You need to realize that success leaves clues, but so does failure. You need to study the people that were successful in it, and you also need to study the people who failed to understand what happened with them and why they failed.
Mhm.
So with that being said, I did my due diligence before I put the Sex Chronicles out. I, really understood the process. Like, okay, once the books were printed, then what?
Mm,
I already had a plan of action in place and understood how books got in the stores and figured out who the distributors were and how to hook up with the distributors and all that kind of stuff like that. And I will say this: in the beginning, back when books were really big on the streets of New York,
mhm.
there were some distributors that were really not on the up and up. But the biggest piece of advice I can give someone is this, and I say it all the time, was two. But one of them is, in order to get what you want, you have to be willing to walk away.
Ooh.
And
Mm.
what I mean by that, I saw how they were doing other authors and not paying them on time and all that kind of stuff. So I went the opposite. I was like, if you want my books, you got to pay me in advance. So one of them actually had to overnight me a cashier's check every Wednesday if he wanted my books. And he could have easily have said, well, forget you then. I got all these other authors I can, carry
Ain't
their books.
stupid.
I ain't got to do that. But no, I mean, you just have to. And every major thing that's happened to me in my life,
Mhm.
it's been because I was willing to walk away. Like,
Nice.
there have been times in a network or a studio, somebody could be like, oh, she's crazy. You better get up out of here, whatever. But I, was blunt from the beginning about what I was and was not willing to do. And that goes back to the acting question, actors and actresses, everything. If you really want to get what you want, at some point you have to be willing to have that person say, F you, get out of my face. I can get somebody else to do it.
Hmm. That is so true. That is very so true. Now,
And
Zane, I think a lot of people
mhm,
are scared to do that. They're
yeah,
worried that their career is going to end right there. And
yeah.
what I mean, how did you know that it wasn't going to happen to you? How did you know when you first
I
said,
didn't know. I didn't know. But if they said no, then okay. I mean, my background is in sales and marketing, so I know when it comes to sales, there are only three answers: yes, no, or maybe.
mm, that's true?
So, yeah, and I'm not afraid of any of those answers. If it's a yes, cool. If it's a no, that's fine too. I can get somebody. I can go a different direction. If it's a maybe, I'll wait around for a minute to see if you change your mind. But I'm really already past it at that point.
Wow.
But you have to be willing to walk. You have to be willing to lose in order to gain.
That's so true. That is
But you
very
can't
true.
do it in a cocky way. The other thing I want to say is I know a lot of very successful and or wealthy people. And the one thing that they have in common, especially the more successful or the more wealthy they are, is that they're extremely humble. And
Yes.
I've learned in this business, whether it's books, television, film, and there have been a lot of talented people that have killed their own careers. They've shot themselves in the foot by not being humble. Because, directors and studios and TV networks and everyone will be able to say, look, we can go in a different direction. If you're going to, show out, there's always somebody else.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Now, Zane, like I said, you're dropping jewels here. You really are. And I hope everybody's paying attention because one thing you just said, it touched me right then about the humbleness. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people out there that's trying to they feel like they know what they want to do in life. And regardless if it's television, movie industry, book industry, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to
Mhm.
have a humble head, whatever step that you're at, whatever level that you're at. So stay humble at whatever you do. And also, like Zane said, do not be scared of a no.
Right.
Because if you need to walk away, walk away. But I want to tell you this in this industry, and Zane, stop me if I'm lying, 100 no's can equal one yes. Because you
Yeah,
may find that one spot that's going to say, you know what, those other people didn't want you, we want you. So
absolutely. Every no gets closer to a yes.
that's what I'm talking about. Ladies
Mhm.
and gentlemen, worldwide, I hope you're paying attention to this once again. Zane is on the show. She's doing a thing right now. She is teaching you, she is speaking. I hope you're actually doing this and taking down notes. Now, Zane, can you name some of your most popular books that you have published right now that people can walk into a bookstore to actually
Wow.
get?
um, I have a long list of books.
Yes, you do.
I don't even know where to begin. Do you want me to just name like a few of my books?
Yes,
Or
yes. Hmm.
okay, The Sex Chronicles, Addicted, Shame on It All, The Heat Seekers, Nervous, Skyscraper, Love is Never Painless, The Hot Box, Total Eclipse of the Heart, The Sisters of APF, wow, Chocolate Flavor, Succulents, Sensualidad, Body, Busybody, Z Rated. I mean, the list just kind of goes on.
Wow.
And on. Yeah.
Wow. Now,
Long
Zane,
list.
how can everybody come? How can everybody go and purchase these books? What's the best way?
Well, I mean, you can get all of them online. If a bookstore doesn't have them, they can get them within a day or two or have them shipped directly to you. Whatever ones they don't have in stock, all of my books stay in stock at the publisher, so they can get the book within a day or two.
Okay.
But it's easy. I hate to say this to take away from bookstores, but the easiest way is just to go online and order the book.
Nice, nice. Everybody, make sure you go online and order these books. Don't do it right now because you're watching this interview. After this episode, go get the books. Make sure you definitely go do that. Now, are there any other projects that you're working on right now, Zane? We heard about the movies already. Are there any other projects that you're working on that you would like everybody to know about?
I'm working on my next three books, and I'm getting ready to finally do something I've been talking about doing for a long time, and that is do my monologues. I'm planning on taping those at the beginning of November. It's going to be two different sets of monologues
Wow.
with 10 women on each monologue, 10 women on each film,
Nice.
reciting like a 10-minute monologue. I'm really excited about that because the topics are really going to hit home. One is more based on life issues that I I've been answering advice now for 23 years. That's another thing a lot of people know about me. And unfortunately, very little has changed as far as the topics. I feel like almost sometimes like I'm spinning my wheels. So the first one will be about 10 life issues that I see that have been constant for the past 23 years and hasn't changed. Like, for example, one will be about a woman who's jealous of her own daughter and doesn't want to see her own daughter succeed. Real hard hitting topics. The other one is going to be about women who are promiscuous
Mm,
and
mm.
different topics that, like I said, they're common topics, but I'm taking them and I'm exaggerating them to
Okay.
really hit home with them. Like,
Not
for example, instead of just having a woman that likes to go to a swingers club, it's actually that one's called A Hard Habit to Break. And it's about a nun who sneaks out of the convent on the weekends to go to sex clubs. So everything is kind of, enhanced, but to make it interesting.
make sure you get these when they come out. I mean, Zane, that does sound interesting. I wish they were out now. That's good. That is very good. Yes, yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
yes.
And I plan on shooting my next movie in February, the one I was talking about earlier that I've already picked people to star in. I'm planning on doing that in February. And I'm working on putting the Sex Chronicles back out again on
Mm,
a platform so people can watch them all over again.
wow. Ladies and gentlemen, you better make sure you keep up with Zane. She's doing too much stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, you better keep up with her. And that's good that she's bringing back out the Sex Chronicles because some of her stuff that she's done before, re-release it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
going to be big. This is definitely going to be big. Now, Zane, what is the best way for everybody to follow you up on social media, to keep up with you?
On Facebook, just type in Zane. It's the one with more than 1 million followers, about 1.5 million followers. On Instagram, I'm just Planet Zane. And to be honest with you, I don't remember my Twitter login, but I know that my Facebook page updates my Twitter. I need to figure that out actually this weekend. I'm not sure what my name is on Twitter at this point.
That's fine. You heard it on Facebook, Instagram. Trust me, you'll find it on Twitter. Don't worry, you'll definitely find it, especially if you're a Twitter head.
And
Now,
also, if anybody's interested in having like a book package for them or a book consultation or editing, we do that as well. And they can email me at planetzane, PLANETZANE @gmail.com for more information.
guys, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do go email, get that package. I mean, this is some valuable material. I told you, Zane has been doing this and she's been doing it well, as you see. New York bestseller. She's out there, television and movie industry. If you get offered to be in her movie, do not be the dumb one to say no. You better jump in this. You don't know what's going to happen. You definitely don't know what's going to happen. Yes. Now, Zane, I know you're a busy woman, so I'm not going to hold you much longer. What advice would you give any male or female that wants to become an author or actor, actress, director, movie producer? What advice would you give them?
Perfect your craft and turn your flaws into your features.
Wow. Wow.
Because and the reason I say that, like some of my favorite television shows or movies, I don't like characters that are perfect. I like characters that are flawed. And a lot of these actors and actresses have flaws that become their feature. Like, for example, the show Ray Donovan, he has these brothers, he has a lot of issues himself. His brothers all had different issues, but the people are perfectly cast. And it's not really based on their looks or anything else, it's based on their flaws. So turn your flaws, there are very few perfect looking people in the world. So what I'm basically saying is if you're an actor or actress, turn those flaws, make those become your features. Like, this is why I should be picked because of this.
That's deep right there.
Turn your flaws into your features.
That is deep. Ladies and gentlemen worldwide, run with that information. I never even thought about that myself. Run with it.
That's what makes you unique. Your flaws are what make you unique.
That's true.
Not your perfections. Your imperfections are what make you unique.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Now, Zane, we're up to the last segment of the show. It's called Take the Floor. Now, you have up to 2 minutes to say whatever's on your mind. There's no questions asked. Zane, take the floor.
Well, I guess what I want to talk about is everything that's going on, particularly with Black women in today's society. It's really, really hard with what happened with Breonna Taylor. And this is on top of what happened with the whole surviving R. Kelly thing when women were not believed. And I recently watched a documentary about Russell Simmons called On the Record about women that have accused him you know, raping them or mistreating them over the years. And it just seems like no one cares. I know at times it seems like nobody cares, but there are some people that care. And I know it's really hard right now with the COVID and, you know, not being sure what the world was going to come to, and then feeling like, you know, Brianna was killed in her own house, and, you know, nobody seems to going to be held responsible for it. So I would just like to say, you know, ladies, let's support each other. Let's not be catty with one another. Let's empower one another and just, you know, have each other's backs, because it really is a hard time to be a Black woman right now. The kids being home from school, a lot of women are unemployed or we had to choose between their job or their families. You know, people with small kids can't just leave the kids home alone.
It's true.
So I just want everybody just to just remain strong. And if you need to talk to somebody, find somebody to reach out to, find that shoulder you can lean on. Somebody that, you know, while it could be your man and stuff like that, but also women need to lean on other women, because only another Black woman could tell you, can understand how you feel.
Wow.
And that's what I had to say.
Thank you, Zane. Thank you, everybody. Make sure, like Zane said, if you need to talk, find that one person that will, you know, be that listening ear or that shoulder, you know, to lean on. Make sure you do it, ladies out there, because this is a critical time for you all also. And what I want to add on to that is, make sure all you women out there and men too, everybody, be safe out there, because we're at a time right now where it's an uncertain time that's going on right now. After November, who
knows
whoever wins, I'm still going to say, be careful, be safe out there. You have to do it. On the flip side of that, take advantage of what you're trying to do in life right now too. Make sure you go after your dreams, go after it. Like Zane said earlier in the interview, make sure you take advantage of your craft and you want to get yourself out there. You push for your dreams. Make sure you do not stop at whatever you're trying to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Zane, I would love to have you back on in the future.
I'm thinking, where are you located?
I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, really? What part?
Rocky Mount.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know about that. Yeah, I know all about. My father grew up in Rutherford County.
Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking about.
It's Spindale.
Yes.
You ever Spindale? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. And are you still up in the Maryland, D.C. area?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, you in Atlanta? Okay. Got you. That's what I'm talking about. How's things going down there for you all right now, as far as it goes for all the craziness?
It's interesting, but, you know, we're all just hanging in there.
That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, make sure you do go follow Zane on social media. Get her books. Get them. Also, watch out for the movies that's coming out. Make sure you tune in to that. You want to make sure you keep up with her on social media, because, Zane, will you be posting on social media when the movies drop?
Yes, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram. Trust me. Zane, do me a personal favor. When you find out that Twitter name, post that bad boy on Instagram. Post it on Facebook. Make sure people can follow you there too. All right, everybody. Next guest coming up soon. I'm not going to announce who it is, but you make sure you stay tuned. Until next time on the Big Scoop with